Eternals. We finally have a trailer for the
Mm.
Eternals, man. And I watched it with no sound.
Oh, no
just to
sound.
just to kind of get a because for one I was at work when I opened up the video,
Okay.
but I kind of wanted to watch it with no sound first, just to kind of get a feel of the visuals and really know what I was looking at before going in and listening. Because I mean, at the end of the day, bro, the trailers for the MCU movies at this point are kind of the same. You're gonna get montages, you're gonna get dialogue, you're gonna get a musical score in the background, and you're gonna get a scene at the end of the trailer. That's you
Yep.
get that.
Standard.
You get
Yep.
yeah. So I'm looking at it, and the feeling that I got as I was watching it was different. This was different, man, and I can't really put a finger on why it felt different as I was looking at it. But I want to say that as I'm looking at this, the feeling that I get is that I don't know that they're leaning too much into actual superhero territory here. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. Yep.
This trailer gives me the feeling that they're kind of leaning. I don't even want to say religious because it doesn't feel that way either, man. It really, I, I don't.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the origin of these characters. They're kind of like
Right,
god slash aliens visiting Earth and helping early civilization thrive and survive, and
right.
civilization looks up to them like gods. Yeah.
I guess like to me, this feels like the MCU is trying to like get into some Space Odyssey 2001 type territory here, man.
Mm.
That's what it feels like. You know, there's a scene in Space Odyssey 2001 where, you know, there's a group of gorillas that find the monolith, and they find the monolith, and all of a sudden one of the gorillas starts trying to kill the other one because they've now become aware. That type of shit. Like,
Right. Right.
they've already transcended the superhero genre just with the work that they were able to do in their first run leading up to the Infinity Saga.
Yep.
Do you feel, and obviously you watched the trailer too, do you feel like this is the kind of movie that can do what it is that it feels like they're trying to do? It feels like this movie has very, very big ambitions for what it is that they want to pull off. But are we ready for that kind of thing to come out under the MCU and not have any involvement with any mainstream superheroes? Are we ready for that right now? Can they pull that off?
Man. Whew, this is definitely a heavy loaded question because the Eternals, as far as I'm concerned, no one gives a fuck about them like the Inhumans. So they're unknown property, they're unknown heroes, and I kind of get a sense that these guys are kind of their version of the Watchmen. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? I get a feeling that this is their attempt. This is their attempt of their own Watchmen, so to speak. Uh, because it is different. It's not very superhero esque. These characters, the suits look very kind of ancient alien kind of feel. I swear like they're in freaking Jerusalem or Babylon by the architecture and the, you know what I'm saying, like the Middle Eastern geography of the whole trailer. Like it seems like they're like in the Middle East, like they're basically in the cradle of civilization. You know what I'm saying? So one, I don't think we're ready for this. Definitely. Most hell no. We are not ready for this attempt. This is too soon. I would say maybe 2 or 3 films into this next phase, maybe. But right now, I'll be honest, the fans are, and this is weird, but the fans are rabid to turn on Kevin Feige in the MCU. They're ready. They,
Mm.
they are ready to turn loose on this man. It's just, I don't get it because everything that's been shown so far, they've never had a terrible release. But because that they don't agree with the character choices and the direction, they're ready now to shut that shit down and say this is awful, don't support it. So this movie might be their closest thing they have to a flop, quote unquote, simply because everything that they've done before is so drastically different that when you see that MCU banner on there and you go to this film and you're expecting quips and you're expecting action and you're expecting the Marvel formula and they break the Marvel formula, there is going to be a lot of people saying, well, what the fuck did I just watch? You know what I'm saying? Like, if this was an imprint, let's just say if this wasn't released as the MCU, if this was like Marvel leases out to somebody else, like a Sony or whatever, I don't think it would have the same backlash or mixed results that it might get. And I might be wrong, but I don't think this looks like Oscar this kind of looks like Oscar bait. This looks like they're trying to go for film like a film shit, what am I trying to say? It looks like they're trying to go
I,
for a
I
higher
know
level of film.
exactly what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying, bro. Like
Like film
that's
art. Yeah.
yes,
Yes.
yes, and it's not that, and it's not, and it's not even to say that it feels forced because I don't think it feels forced. You know, I really don't feel like any of this is being forced. Like this movie feels okay. This is what comes to mind for me.
Uh-huh.
This feels like the MCU version of Journey to the West.
Yeah,
That's
I can
what
see
this,
that.
that's really what this is here. You know, like that's what it feels like. They're not really going for because at this point in time, you can't out superhero the superheroes. You know, if we want the action, we can go back and watch Captain America. We can watch the Avengers. We have 10 years of great movies that we can go back to that have heavy replay value. Even with some of the casting choices and some of the details about some of the characters in this movie tell me that they at this point in time are trying to branch out further than just the general moviegoers. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody's wondering what I mean by that, all you have to do is kind of read up on some of the casting and the characters in this movie. You know what I'm saying? Like another prominent character from The Walking Dead who happens to be deaf is going to be portraying like the first live action deaf superhero played by an actress that is actually deaf. See what I'm saying? This will
Mm-hmm.
be the first depiction of a superhero that's a member of the LGBT community. You know what I'm saying? Or excuse me,
Right.
LGBTQ community. This is the first movie that has, an actress on the caliber as of an Angelina Jolie. You know what I'm saying? There was a
Mm-hmm.
joke out there that said they really casted Rob Stark, Jon Snow in the same movie. I thought that was pretty funny though. I got a good kick out of that. That shit was
Replace one
funny.
Stark and put 2 more in.
but but when I ask that question, are we ready for this? It's important because I never thought about it the way that you kind of worded it. But we are on the edge of we're right on that edge of people looking for a reason to turn on the MCU or at least say, you know what, we were right all along. Look at that right there. They
Yeah.
spent two They spent all this money on this. They spent $200 million on this and only got back 600 million instead of 2 billion or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm interested in watching it, but I don't know if we're ready for this. I don't know if the general public is really ready for what it is that they're trying to do with this movie here, because this is not a traditional superhero movie. We've already gotten the action comedy with Guardians of the Galaxy. We've already gotten the epic story conclusion with Endgame and Infinity War. This here is something completely different. So I'm interested to see it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm planning on going to the theater to watch it. And we'll see how this goes, man.
Yeah, man, no doubt. I'm going to theaters to see this. This is something different, it's something new. We talked about this before. You can't redo the first, the 10 years that they've done. You can't just do the same thing. This is what people were, it's so funny. Y'all, you complain about a Marvel formula and all the rehashing, they're redoing all this and that. Here they give you something different and you're literally saying, "Oh, see, they've changed, they've done this." Like the same people who are complaining about rehashing in the Marvel formula and this and that and the third are bashing this film for everything that they basically complained about that was acknowledged and is being corrected with this film.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something different, man. I think Kevin Feige's definitely taken a gamble on a little bit of a gamble on this. I mean, you have such a star-studded, you have some heavy actors in this film. I mean, you have Selma Hayek. Who would have thought Selma Hayek would do a superhero type film? But this may not even be a superhero type film.
Yep.
Uh, you got an Oscar award winner director in here, who's she's done some really great work. Like I
Yep.
mentioned before in the China segment. Next time I'll get her name, but yeah, this is definitely something that they're reaching because they want to broaden their horizons, and they feel they've kind of come close, not close, but they might be reaching for some awards with this joint. I really feel like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, you know what I'm saying? We've been nominated in the past. We kind of really want to go for the gusto in this one. We want to get some critical claim. Like we're sick of people trash talking these films. Let's put out something special so that when we walk up in the Oscars, we'll be like, yeah, we can do both, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, man.
you
And
know, like y'all shit talking these hero films, we can make some fucking great cinema too. Like we can make some artsy shit that y'all will like too. Like,
and I'm telling you, when it happens, when it happens, there's nothing that can really be said about it. All I got to say is that, and I don't want to sound like a hater, what I'm
uh,
gonna say, but you'll understand what I mean when I say this here. This movie leaning more into that artistic kind of Oscar awards kind of seasoning on it, to me is the result of Black Panther being snubbed. If Black
mm,
Panther, if Black Panther would have won Best Picture in 2018 like it was supposed to, then maybe there wouldn't be this much of an effort and this much of a focus put into it to say, hey, we can do this too. And I think that the movie hasn't came out. I haven't seen it. None of that. But I have a feeling that this is going to be one of those that ages relatively well in the grand scheme of the way that entertainment and movies are going now. This could potentially be one of those movies that has major implications on how other people decide to try to carry out their superhero properties. So I could see the Watchmen comparison there as well, even though fundamentally these are two completely different movies. But it is completely possible that the Eternals could end up being one of these grand genre deconstruction type of movies by accident.
Yeah.
Completely by accident.
Mm-hmm.
Completely by accident. It could end up being one of those. I definitely could see that. And it's just funny how, we're getting the Eternals, but last year Warner Brothers in DC decided to cancel the New Gods. So
And they had a great, phenomenal director to back it. They literally had great Ava DuVernay.
yep. So
And they decided to cancel that. And Marvel's like, okay, cool.
yep.
More
As
for
we
us.
proceed, as we proceed. So, you
Definitely,
know,
man. Kevin Feige is going to walk into the Oscars like Birdman. Put some respect on my name.
yeah, because I mean, they if $200 million is what it costed for them to make this movie, they could make half. They could literally get returns. Like, it's coming out this year. They're releasing that movie in November of this year.
Right.
So I don't think that there's too much concern about getting box office returns at this point for any movie that gets released. The one that they're really gonna want to make money off of is Spider Man. That's the one
Oh,
that they
yeah.
want to get their money off of. A
Right,
movie
right.
coming out in December or November, excuse me. Those are normally your movies that you want to get hyped up for award season, anyways. So none of this is by accident. If they bring home hardware in one category at the Academy Awards, whether it be for special effects, which is going to be nominated, whether it be for costume design, which is going to be nominated, best director, which is possible because the director of Nomadland just won best picture in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they know what the fuck they doing,
Oh,
bro.
yeah.
So,
Yep.
you know, if this is one of those that ends up being that grand deconstruction of the genre, all I got to say is that Marvel Studios is right on time. They are right on time with everything that they have been trying to do at this point, and it's gonna get real spooky out here, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna get spooky. And before we kind of wrap this up,
Yeah.
that's not saying that they're the first ones to do it. It's not saying that. We can't pretend like Joker wasn't nominated for Best Director and Best Picture, in addition to Joaquin Phoenix winning for Best Actor.
Right, right. Logan as well too. First
Right.
one
Logan,
nominations.
I believe was nominated for Best Original or Best Adapted Screenplay, but
Yeah.
it should have been nominated for Best Picture in 2017 as well.
Mm-hmm.
We can't say enough good things about The Dark Knight in 2008. We can't say enough good things about it. But, and again, Black Panther as well. But if this is the culmination of all of those movies going into them being able to put together one singular movie that is good enough to actually tick all of those boxes for your high class film snobs to really kind of say it out of the side of their mouths like, okay, well, I guess they did do it this time. Cool, they got it. you
Yeah.
know I wouldn't even be surprised if this is a movie that doesn't have a sequel.
Yeah, I don't know how you do a sequel. You have basically guys who are gods and goddesses who have tremendous celestial power, cosmic power, and they just never show up again. Like this could be literally. I mean, and this is the thing they can risk. They can risk a one-off. You know what I'm saying? Like everything before them was so calculated and building up to something grand, right? A grand finale. And now they're in this new era where they can try new shit out. Well, they're still building to something big. They can definitely, get away from the formula, try new different things, be a little bit of a little bit less they could take more risks. You know what I'm saying? Like they know the audience is going to come based on the goodwill this fan base that's ready to turn on them, they'll shut up when Spider-Man 3 comes out. They'll shut up when Doctor Strange 2 releases. Let's be
Yep.
real. They
And if
just,
they don't,
yeah.
and if they don't, fuck them.
Yeah.
You know what
Y'all
I'm
showing
saying?
up anyway, man.
Yeah, if
Y'all
they
gonna show
don't,
up anyway.
word. Like if they really don't, if they really still, if people, again, if this same group of guys, and I'm gonna say guys because they are guys, if this same group of guys out there that hated Captain Marvel because she was edgy and angry, that hated Falcon and Winter Soldier because it was woke, that hated Wonder Woman 1984 and all of it. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, fuck them. Like, for real. If these same guys that are gonna tell me that they can't wait until Joker 2 comes out, like, come on, dog. Like what are we talking about? Come on, man. Like, if this is the same, you see what, like, it can't. Like, we can't do that, bro. We can't just talk out of both sides there. At this point in time, it's easier to just be quiet and not watch it than it is
Right.
to kick up dust and point fingers at it, because obviously Joker didn't make all of that money because these were the only guys going to see it. Obviously, a lot of people went to see Joker when it came out.
Yeah.
So if y'all can enjoy that type of entertainment on that end of the spectrum, there's room for everything in this genre at this point in time. So, I didn't think we get that kind of mileage out of it, but in May, for a movie to be coming out in November, I am definitely going to be keeping my eye on this, and I have a feeling that we'll be discussing this topic again before the end of 2021.